I'm gonna make tom yum soup today. So these ingredients that you see here, I bought most of these from the international store. And I got some lemongrass, got some lemon leaves, some galangal, cilantro. I have my own homegrown Thai chili, lots of garlic and onion. And so this will be for the broth. And then for the vegetables, I have a bunch of mushrooms, tomatoes, green onions, and I'm probably gonna put some carrots in here as well. I'm gonna have to go and dig it out from my garden. And I probably will add some green peppers from my freezer, green onions, and lime. So there will be lime juice in it as well. They do smell like lemon, but it's kind of gingery. So I have the lemongrass, chili peppers, bunch of onions, and now I'm gonna put in a bunch of garlic. This is a head of garlic. To peel this. It smells like sweet, almost like nail polish, but it's also fruity. So the reason I'm peeling most of it is to expose most of the surfaces. I'm gonna try to blend this. I'm saving most of the leaves for topping when I eat fresh. So I'm gonna just probably use half of this in the broth. I'm gonna use a handful of the lime leaves, and I'm gonna freeze the rest of them in a bag. Last time I froze these, it lasted me like a year in the freezer. I'm gonna flash freeze it in the tray, and then once it's frozen, I'll put them in a bag. Couple of big pinches of salt. 6 quarts of filtered water. It smells amazing. And today I'm going to be using some of this tom yum paste from a jar. And this has basically the same ingredients that you see in the broth. So it has lemongrass, sugar, garlic, salt, soybean oil, which is not the best, but galanga, chili, shallots, coriander, water, and citric acid, and MSG. Oh, it smells so good. I will simmer this for about an hour. While my broth is cooking, I'm going to be washing my vegetables and preparing them. First, I'm going to wash my tomatoes. Oh, they're beautiful. Next, the mushrooms. I'll put it in. This is just the first wash. I'll repeat this like 3 times at least. I'm gonna put these greens into the broth as well. Ooh, it smells amazing. Look at all the juice I got out of this half lime. I learned this trick from a chef online. If you have big hands, like I do, perfect. Let's taste the broth and see if we need to adjust anything. It sure smells good. There's a lot of vegetables in it, aromatics. Trying to see how hot is this too with my hot peppers in here, but the peppers did not burst, so if I do squeeze them out it will get hotter, I think. So oh, it's so tasty. It's on the salty side, but I think that's a perfect way of getting it ready for the vegetables. It's not spicy at all, so that paste that I put in was not spicy. And these peppers, aren't these spicy? They're pretty mild, so it has a little hint of spiciness. I'm gonna kind of crush these up a little so they can release some heat. Probably should have like broken into two when I put them in here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some red pepper flakes in here. I'm gonna add this red pepper flake powder. It's really not super hot, but it has some kick. So I'm gonna put 3 of these. For this amount, that's nothing. Again, I don't want to make it like super hot. I just want it to have that hint of spicy hot. So mix this up and see how that goes. Taste it again. I probably could put more, but I do have that hint, just slightly. It's like hardly you can tell there's spiciness in it, type of thing. It's almost done. I think it has 20 more minutes to cook. So I'm done cooking my broth. I'm gonna take everything out of here other than just the liquid itself. Through a fine mesh strainer. foremost so I can cook the vegetables. Put in the mushroom. These are my homegrown peppers. And then the tomatoes and the green onions. We need some more broth to cover this. And I'm gonna put a little bit of lime juice and see how that tastes. I'm gonna put the whole thing in here. It's really not that sour. That will help the mushroom to stay white, I think. Less likely to oxidize. While I'm waiting for my vegetables to cook a little bit, par cook, I'm gonna prepare my canner. And I'm not gonna go into too much details about the canner. So if you need more information on that, go ahead and check out my previous video. I already have my jars in the oven, 10 jars, 10 pint-sized jars. I'm gonna sanitize those for 15 minutes. My canner takes 4 quarts of water to get it to the appropriate line, and I can can 10 pints at a time in this canner. I'm gonna cook these vegetables for about 10 minutes, maybe, if that. So I'm just gonna keep my eye on it, see how it looks. Okay, I got my jars out of the oven. I got my lids in hot water. And my mushroom is cooked enough, so I'm keeping my pots hot with the liquids in it. So what I'm gonna do is take about a cupful of vegetables and broth, and then from the other pot, also gonna take about a cupful of broth. Only because this broth didn't have anything cooking in it, while this broth had the vegetables cooking in it, so the concentration is different as far as saltiness and spiciness and all that, so I'm taking from both until I can mix them up together. This needs a little more. This might be too much vegetables. And I'm pouring it up to the bottom of my funnel, which is about ½ an inch headspace. I can pour this in with the others. There we go. I'm just gonna debubble them regardless of how liquidy they are. Every time I do pressure canning, I will do that. Wipe off every rim. And put the lids on. And put the rings on. And start loading the canner. Now the next 5. So here's my canner full. Turn up the heat and lock it up. I'm gonna wait for it to start venting steam. When that starts, I time it for 10 minutes and then we'll put the weight on, and then we'll time the canning once it reaches 11 pounds of pressure. This is the leftover that I just put some shrimp in it. Ready to eat while my canner is processing. Here comes the steam and the lock has closed. So now I'm waiting for the time to pass. So now that it vented for 10 minutes, I'll just put the weight on and I'm gonna wait for it to go up to 11 pounds of pressure. So it should be right here. And then I'll time the canning process from there for pints, 45 minutes, only because the mushroom takes the longest to can, so you have to take whatever is the longest canning time for your soup. I'm not gonna show you when it's up to pressure. I'll see you back here when I'm actually taking the jars out. Now once this is done canning, I'm gonna turn off the heat and just let that cool naturally for at least an hour. This is the next morning when everything is cooled off properly. Here is my soup. And while I was in the canning mode, I did some beets as well. I canned 5 pounds of beets. That gave me 6 pints total. It's just canned in plain water. So now what I'm gonna do is wipe these off and label them with the date and content, put them into storage. I ended up with 13 jars of tom yum soup. I forgot to put in vinegar into the canning water, so my jars did get cloudy. I did wipe them already, but it does make a huge difference in your canning having vinegar in your canning water to avoid that clouding. I'm satisfied with the outcome. See you next time.